Racing at the GP, it's always pretty cool. F1's there, it's at home, so I get to stay at home, and it's always a good feeling. You know, there's a lot of people there, pretty hyped event, and you know, racing on the street circuit here in Melbourne, it's always a cool thing.
I love the Grand Prix circuit. It's a fast-flowing circuit. You know, you really got to concentrate like every racetrack, but you know, it's just a fun track to drive on.
It's the only round we have that really feels like that. Probably the closest one. Actually, there is no round like it. Just the amount of people there is ridiculous. Just having that amount of fans there and the amount of engagement that they all want to have with cars, F1, us, supercars, everyone, it's so good for the sport.
AGP was another one of those rounds where I think I ran over a black cat because we've been quick there in the past. So, you know, going in there, I was quite excited to try and get some good results for the team, and qualifying went well. Race one was awesome, had a great start, and we were in 5th, but yeah, got taken out before the race really got, you know, started, which is a bit unfortunate, and dropped back probably about 10 positions. So, you know, when that happens, again, in such a tight field, it's pretty much your weekend over. So it was a bit unfortunate, but you know, the glimpse of hope during race one and qualifying was great to carry that into the next round.
I definitely made it hard for myself to try and get a win after qualifying. Qualifying, I think it was 12th and 13th, so I kind of buried myself back in there. But every race is just about keeping clean, stepping forward, maximising on other people's mistakes and making sure I don't make any of my own.
It's going to be quite busy this year, so can't wait to get into it for the last race tonight. Bit of chaos so far, so hopefully we can navigate through it properly.
You've been caught up in a few shunts this weekend, and now I'm in the hot seat for them, so just try and avoid them at the least.
As soon as you get in that top 5 at the moment, which is pretty much what I've been in, something's happened in front, and we've had to, you know, lose some positions, but just keeping it clean, which is going to be important for obviously points. Time to navigate through this crowd, like full what's it called? Netflix Drive to Survive speed.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic, to be fair.
So many people here, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're still checking. It's 1 o'clock, and people have been out there still checking.
Not 1 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock.
Is it?
Of course you want to build on it, but you never go into a round with expectations of that's what you're going to do, even though probably deep down that I feel like I should, but you never know what's going to come your way, so you really just got to try and roll with it and just improve every time you hit the track, and you see where you end up come the end of the weekend. And it's really all I did, and it paid off every time. And I really, walking away with a podium, it was a little bit more rewarding since I made it so hard on myself, but it's a podium. You can't say much more about it.
Sonic doesn't have to prove anything. They've been around for a long time. Michael and Maria and all the crew that work there, you know, their aim is to win everything, and you know, those runs are on the board. You know, like I think, you know, you go through good years and you go through bad years, right? And you know, last year was a rougher year, but it's about rebuilding and refocusing, and you know, I think they've done that really well. And you know, we're sort of, you know, again this year we're sort of working towards, we're probably not where we want to be. You know, I think a lot of that sits with us as drivers. You know, it was about the consistency, about finishing every race and trying not to make mistakes, right? So we're all, doesn't matter young or old, you know, like whether it's the pro or the pro-ams, we're all pushing to the limit of what we can do, and you see everyone make mistakes, all of us, and you know, it's trying to make the least mistakes and push yourself to the limit of your ability. And you know, the Grand Prix, again, you know, we were really fortunate. A lot of guys made mistakes. We just kept pushing. Our pace was good, and you know, built over the weekend, and the results slowly came, and overall the outcome was, you know, awesome. We won the round, and you know, I was really, really happy about that.
Testing's really important in motorsport, especially, you know, in a category like us where we have big spaces in between, say, Grand Prix and Darwin. We had a gap pretty large compared to, you know, our off season. So making sure testing was locked in is a vital thing. The best way I can explain it to people is like soccer players, they can like kick a ball whenever they want and practice on the footy field, or the soccer pitch whenever they want and whenever they can. Unfortunately with us, we're pretty limited on when we get to test and get to practice, so making sure we dot the I's and cross the T's is it's so vital. So when we were testing, we were making sure everything was on point all the time, and really putting an emphasis on each lap because it's important.
With long breaks in the season, there's not much you can do. Like, there's no substitute for just getting in the car and racing, going testing and stuff like that. So besides doing that, all you can really do is just work on your fitness, your strength, just in the gym, trying to make sure you can get in there. I find jumping in the kart, like the go-kart, helps me quite a fair bit, and running the team and doing that, managing to get a few rounds in the nationals and that, did help me stay a bit sharp come the round. Plus, being able to get back in the car just before the round with a test with Sonic definitely helps get me back into the rhythm with it. Like, there's no substitute for jumping in the car. Being able to feel the brake pedal under your feet, feel what the wheel's doing, remember how to turn the tyre back on, everything like that. It's what you got to do to prepare for rounds.
Yeah, look, the gaps between rounds does make it hard. Like I was fortunate enough, I went and raced at Le Mans in between, very different track, but it's time in a car. So that sort of made me a little bit more fortunate. Other guys are doing other series, so they're spending time in the car. So I got to Darwin, hadn't been there for a while, and hadn't, other than Le Mans, hadn't done any testing. So I got there, and a small field of pro-ams, but the three of us are extremely competitive and all around the same pace. So it was a sort of brutal race to try and qualify, and the same showed up ultimately in the races. It was hard fought, and I think I don't know where I qualified. I think it was sort of second and third, and I sort of turned out on the wrong side of the track with no grip for each of the starts, which made it hard. But you get what you get what you dealt with. Then we were sort of all racing together. There was no letting up. It was just about fatiguing each other, and between Matt Belford, Matt Slavin, and myself, it was a pretty big dogfight, cat fight, whatever you want to call it. And I came out second, which was disappointing. I needed to win the last race. I think I finished something like second. I really needed a second and first in there, but it wasn't good enough to get that, so I have to live with the outcome. So finished around second, which was disappointing, but they're the breaks. I needed to do better in qualifying, and probably needed to race a little bit better than what I did.
Heading to Darwin's always a pretty cool round because we kind of get to go away, and it feels kind of like a holiday because we've come out of Melbourne winter and going into the Darwin heat, which is awesome. So, previously we haven't had the best results at Darwin, but after our really positive testing and learning a lot about the car, we were quite excited to go into Darwin.
I made it hard for myself again. It's been 3 rounds this year, and I made qualifying difficult in all 3 rounds. So it's definitely something I need to work on, but I've done what I've done in all 3 of them and just delivered when it comes to racing. Just be smart, keep it clean, and turn what is a bad day into a better one. So 2 6th, and I think it was an 8th we've had this weekend. It's just been, I've done what I've needed to do basically, and I'm happy with the outcome, and we still hold 4th in the championship, and we move on to the next with some good momentum.
Darwin was a pretty good round, I think. It depends which way you look at it, but you got to get the positives from everything. We were fast, we were in the top 5 to top 6 for the whole weekend. We were running sort of 5th in race 2, but I made a silly error, locked the front left and dropped down to 7th. So overall, I think the biggest thing I can learn from that is we were fast, the car's good. I've just got to stop, the random silly errors, which off-season wise and in between race meetings and testing, I'm working pretty hard at doing. So making sure I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that doesn't happen again.
As a driver, there's so many things it can be. It can be a bit of car, it can be working with a team, it can be yourself, it can be your approach to qualifying. can be just going to a test day and throwing a million sets of tyres on it to see how it works. The issue with being a driver like myself is there's so many issues that it could be, and there's a different solution to every single one of them. So it's really trying to find the process of elimination to figure out what exactly the problem is to be able to fix it. And at this exact moment, I don't know what it is.
So it's been a pretty slow start to the season, which I think is a good thing for me at least, because it's given me a lot of time to think about what I've done wrong and making sure that I don't do it again. So having 3 rounds across 6-7 months is a bad thing because there's not a lot of racing, but for me it's a good thing because I can really lock in and focus on the little things I do wrong, because at the end of the day that's what's setting me back from finishing in the top 3 opposed to the top 5. So over the next sort of 3-4 months, we've got the rest of the rounds coming up. So I think I know what I need to do, so can't wait to get it started.
Look, I can't complain so far. If I was critical of myself, I'd say I should have done better at Darwin. But it's a long season, and it's about where we are at the end of the season and trying to make the most of each round through the season. So we'll see. I'm not disappointed. I would have liked to have sort of made it 3 in a row at Darwin, and I didn't. So, but second is better than third, and we'll see how we go at Queensland.